Hey everyone, welcome back. I did a video just recently where we talked about the Bitcoin OS and how $1.3 trillion of liquidity will be tapped into by the Cardano ecosystem. Now, I wanted to make this video coming out from the cryptobasic.com, not only to touch upon the price of Cardano right now today, but we are going to look into Charles, the big man, Hoskinson, and what his reaction is to basically he's excited. So I want to talk about that. We'll get down into it. And as always, guys, I'll give you my thoughts towards the end of this video. And with that being said, let's get down into it. Okay. So this is where we're at. I am going to pull up kind of what's going on as I pull up this window, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. We are going to look into this conversation where Hoskinson is excited to tap into that 1.3 trillion of liquidity. Now, before we do so, let's dive into the crypto bubbles. And right now, guys, on the charts, you can see it's kind of a red day as we get into the weekend. So happy Friday for those of out there that are going to enjoy the Friday, but out there trading. It's been a little bit of a rough start to the weekend. Okay. But Cardano, as we're currently recording, up 2.7, I'm sorry, down 2.7 on the week. And we do have a up 20.3% rise as we look at the last 365 days. That lead is slowly dwindling. But as we are trading at 34 cents, this is something within Cardano. If you look back, and we'll dive into the trading view right now, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's really something where we're just kind of in this downward consolidation flow where we're not going to be in this level. And when I say this level, I'm talking about this. Okay. This little kind of area that we had a short period of time, pretty much December through the start of May. That was when Cardano was booming back in 2023. And since then, we're trying to find our footing again. But this is something that we do need to celebrate, because if we want to talk about Cardano in a bad light, okay, this is the time period where that is. And that is the bottom of 2022 as we got into the first part in Q1 of 2023. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. I do think that we have brighter days ahead. And if you do believe in kind of what the whales are doing, the accumulation within ADA is there. For me, guys, I want to get back up into this 45 to 50 cents range. And a lot of people out there are kind of hating on Cardano and saying, that's what I want to do. I want to buy a crypto just to hold it for no reason and not make any gains for years. And it's a lot of people are kind of just salty about it. And myself, I was one of the early Cardano buyers. I'm sure a lot of you are as well. And it's been a tough road. Okay, it's been a tough road, and the biggest thing going for us right now is we need to get back to where we were as we were brushing $3. And then once we hit that, then we can start being a little bit far fetched and get out of line as we look into price predictions. But right now, it's just kind of the whole Cardano ecosystem needs to catch steam right now at this moment in time. That's kind of where I'm at. That's how I view it. Okay, and this is something where if we want to talk about further on in this development, right? There's only so much of the roadmap that we have left. Cardano is going to be ever evolving. Getting through that decentralization stage is key, but now it's more so about getting people back in and buying Cardano. Now, what I'm saying to you guys right now in this video is not financial advice. These are just my thoughts and how I look at ADA. Okay. And with that being said, let's get into the comments from the big man as he is excited, okay, to get into kind of what's happening within the 1.3 trillion in liquidity that we're going to be tapping into. Okay. So this is something where Thursday Hoskinson thrown in his reactions, and this is coming out from his pick on Twitter. Okay. And that's kind of where you can see the image having two animations with the names of the two networks visibly written on them. Okay. I'm not going to pull it up for you guys on X, but you can kind of picture that if you want to, where basically Bitcoin and Cardano having those animations within their names and wide open arms for an embrace, as they call it. Okay, so that's kind of weird, but anyways, it is something where I would never have dreamt of Cardano and Bitcoin kind of getting in bed with each other. But now we see Cardano and Hoskinson tapping into that AMM operated decentralized exchange Sunday swap. Okay, so these are more developments. Okay, these are all things that are going to stimulate liquidity, stimulate the flow of ADA, and this is something where jokingly tagging Sunday Swap that he heard Bitcoin is looking for a decentralized exchange where all assets could be passed or issued through with the partnership with the Bitcoin OS. Okay, so that collaboration is going to unlock a massive amount of liquidity. Okay, and that is the belief within the ADA network. Now, within this, that's where DeFi developers on Cardano can access the $1.3 trillion market without having any intermediaries. So that's kind of the big thing, right? That is the follow-up. That's what we talked about in previous videos. And that is kind of where I'm driving home this fact, where, the big knock on Bitcoin, okay, and this is what these comments are going to be about right now. The big knock on Bitcoin, okay, has been the sole premise that it is just a dinosaur in the cryptosphere, okay, and that's kind of how we've kind of developed. That's kind of what we've gotten into. And if you want to talk about it more so in its entirety, you have to understand something. This is where we look at ADA as kind of being even more developed, right? ADA was created to make Ethereum better. Well, both of those entities also came after Bitcoin. So you can, for all those people out there called ADA a dinosaur, if you really want to talk about it, Bitcoin is a dinosaur. Okay. And that's kind of where, it's not being talked about, but Bitcoin in some form or fashion needs Cardano a little bit more so than you would think. And this is where it comes down to technology and not just price action. Okay. Another thing is within what Hoskinson said. He said, remember that BTC underscore OS isn't a bridge. That's the handle. Okay. If you want to know more on X, it's a brain, and that brain is going to let Bitcoin flow into the crypto world. And then they finally get to ditch their boring lives and enjoy DeFi, GameFi, and the magic of smart contracts. First stop is Cardano. Okay. So Hoskinson, very outlandish and kind of rash when he talks sometimes, and he gets criticism for that. But he states that Bitcoin will get rid of its boring life and add in exciting features like I talked about with DeFi, GameFi, and smart contracts, all things that the Bitcoin network has been missing. Now, if you want to talk to a Bitcoin maxi, they're going to be the first ones to tell you that this is something where Bitcoin doesn't need any of that. They don't need GameFi, okay? They don't need Cardano. They don't need DeFi. They don't need smart contracts, okay? That's kind of where we're at. Now, when you talk about Bitcoin and the difference between kind of what Cardano brings to the table, this is something where interoperability definitely is going to be key. And now that we get into that massive liquidity that will be unlocked for Cardano, for me, guys, this is extremely bullish. It's not necessarily going to be a game changer in terms of right here, right now, but down the road, once this becomes realized and we do see some development on this front, I think that Cardano definitely has more to gain from this than Bitcoin. And that's kind of what, at this moment in time, what we need. We need some more news. We need some stimulus, and we need new things on the table that kind of gives, Cardano that bright, shiny object feel. So people start buying back into ADA. Okay. So that's what I got right now, 34 cents. Let's hold the course as we get to eclipsing that $12 billion market cap once more. And why not? Let's get back in the top 10. Okay. It's been too long for ADA. And that's kind of where I'm at on this lovely Friday. Hope you guys all have a great weekend. Remember to subscribe down below, and we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.